Tarot. This is just a quick comparison of the two editions of the Messenger Oracle by Ravynne Phelan. They're both done by Hay House, and this was the first edition, and this is the second edition which has just recently come out. And just for kicks and giggles, I thought I would do a comparison for those who might want to see it. So this is the first one. It's lovely hard box it came in, and the box was very glossy. The second edition, also beautiful. I mean, you know, really nice, but it's sort of more matte, with this panel being glossy, and as you can see, it's slightly thinner and slightly thicker. And that's to accommodate the new deck. It's really, you know, they're both beautiful boxes. Personally, I like this one. And this is a comparison of the books that came in with the decks. So like the first edition, the book is wider, glossy, but otherwise they have the same information. This book is, of course, narrower, and at the back it's got a picture there before this little inscription, whereas here it's just the little quotation there. A difference here is that in the first edition the cards were numbered, and in the second edition, as you can see, they are not numbered. Otherwise, it's the same little inscription below, you know, below the thumbnail prints, which both are in black and white. This looks less, or this looks more, but that's just because the page is narrower, so it's slightly different. But if you read it word for word, it's the same, and both of them have got the same introduction, little pictures there, contents, and the spreads and all that is the same. So that essentially none of that has changed. These, apart from the fact that there are no numbers, these are alphabetically ordered, so it's easy to find them in the book, and they still have the contents page, although the actual cards are not numbered. And in the second edition, there are 5 new cards that aren't in the first edition. So that's another thing. So this has got 55 cards, whereas this has only got 50 cards. So let's go on to the cards themselves. First edition cards, lovely. I really liked the backs. I thought they were quite beautiful. They were very glossy. They still exist. They're glossy. And the cards have got a border, and each card is numbered. It was good quality cardstock, very flexible. Now looking at the second edition, the cardstock feels a great deal thicker, but I think when you sort of like do a comparison in height, this one is only marginally higher, although it's got 5 cards. I do think the cardstock is thicker, and when we feel it, it feels a great deal thicker, but you know, it's sort of very small difference actually in thickness of cards. They're both good quality. This is the Hay House's new quality cards, which is nice and matte, lovely to feel, and very sturdy and strong as well. Flexible, really nice card. Now here are the backs of the second edition. I really like them too. I think they're beautiful. I think I'll edge mine in probably this brown or off-white, whatever you call it. So that's the card backs. The card quality, different quality, but they're both good. This is highly laminated and this one is matte. And I don't know whether it's because of the difference in the cardstock, this being matte and that laminate, but you can immediately see a difference in the colour tone. This one's sort of a lot darker, a lot deeper, whereas this comes out brighter and more pastel-y. But that's fine. They're both good cardstock. Now here you can really see a difference in the thickness. The second edition is thinner by a fair bit and slightly shorter. If you place the picture over the first edition, you can see the actual size of the picture hasn't changed, although there does seem to be a bit of zooming in or out that sort of has resulted in slightly some of the edges seem to have been slightly severed, but I really don't think it sort of detracts from the picture. The bottoms, the borders here at the bottom are quite different. Personally, I think that sort of stands out. It's easier to read than that edition. This edition has the number. It's far less ornate. It's a lot lower down. This sort of imposes a little bit on the picture, but I think it's equally beautiful. So there's a difference. So I'll go through the cards one by one, and we'll also see as we're going through them, the 5 extra cards will crop up. So there you go. Slight difference, well, actually a visible difference in colour tone. And I don't know whether that's the cardstock or whether it's due to tweaking. I imagine it's why laminated cards were popular for a long time, but matte cards are the thing now, and I prefer this to touch, to feel, to use personally. So there we have the first card. Now here is your first additional card, Be Honest. Beautiful. So there's nothing to compare that with. And then we have Be Patient. You can again see the difference in colour. In fact, let me go this way. And there we have the second new edition. So I'll just remove that for you. And there we've got Be Vigilant. Again, you can see a difference in the depth of colour. Interestingly enough, this one seems to have been tweaked here with a highlight of blue. I don't know whether that's just part of the change of the cardstock or what, but it's neither here nor there. It's just something I noticed. The third additional card, Be Calm in the Storm. Lovely. And again here there's very little difference there. The difference in colour tone is quite striking in this one, I think, personally. And there, it just slightly changes it. In a way, this was nicer. It's sort of a lot stronger, but I think if you've got either or, it doesn't really matter. They're both lovely. Here seems to have been a bit of tweaking. I'll just zoom down a little bit for you. I don't know if you can see, there's a slight difference in the little background fairy. The first edition, the fairy has like feelers or something there which have gone. And you might notice there's a difference in these little energy sort of balls of light. Here they are different. They're more fuzzy, whereas they're like little specks, little stars. But other than that, and I mean there's a difference of colour in that little thing there. But other than that, and there's her highlight again. She's got highlights where she doesn't. The stars there are a little different. So there seems to be a tweaking in some of them. And likewise, the Embrace the Feminine. This has got pink tones here which aren't there. And you'll notice in the deck there's a big difference in the colours of green. The green, the difference in the green really stands out. So that makes it look a little brighter. But they're both equally beautiful in my opinion. Focus then act. And follow the moon. And in have courage, you might notice his third eye area has been tweaked. His eyebrows are different there. But I don't know whether that's just because of a difference in cardstock or printing for that time. I don't know. This one again just seems to be the difference in depth of colour, or intensity, or pastel of colour. But you can definitely see a difference in the colour, and I think it must be down to the cardstock, which is why laminated cards were so popular for a time. There's a difference in the sun here. It does seem to have been tweaked a little bit. I don't know, unless that's just, again, how it comes out. But see how nicely these threads show up in the matte version, whereas they're kind of lost in the glossy version. And again, the same sort of thing here. And as you can see, you're not losing a terrible amount of picture in the second edition. I don't think that's a problem. This certainly seems to be more zoomed in on the first edition, but it may just be an optical illusion. But if you look here, that's different to that. It does certainly seem to have zoomed out a bit. You don't get that crevice in the background. But that's the background, and perhaps it's, I'm not trying to be nitpicky, I'm just saying what I see. I'm being honest. And there you go, know your power. Let go of the old. There's a difference. I think there definitely is, there's zooming in there as opposed to that one. But see how rich those colours are, whereas they're kind of lost there. They're both beautiful. I mean, I like them both. And I think I'll probably be using the matte version because personally I like the size of it in my hand. It's just easier on the hand. I mean, I certainly won't bin this version. I'll hold on to it. Maybe a niece or daughter or someone will want it and bum it off me. But I certainly, I'd be glad to hold on to them. There you can see the zooming in again. And the difference, I don't know why the highlight shows so much more in this version. They're both lovely. There's just subtle differences. Again, just the fact that the borders are gone really makes it look larger. Here's a bit of a tweaking that's gone on. I mean, that can't possibly be to the printing. They've put blood down there where it's not there, and he's got red eye makeup on, which he hasn't there. So, it's perhaps just, I don't know why or how it comes about, but there's been a bit of tweaking in a couple of the cards, but nothing major. Here she's got pink highlights that are not there. And here again you can see how glowy and deep the glossy version looks compared to that one, but I still overall prefer the new version, the second edition. They're both beautiful. The second edition here, you can see the globe's gone pink, whereas there it is just a moon colour. Observe in silence. It's very much the same apart from the colour tone. And because this card is very green, you see a lot of the difference in the colour tone. She certainly seems to have got a highlight on there. And here again. I think this is the picture at the back of the book, yeah. And reveal your truth. Again, you can see the differences in the green. Both are beautiful in my opinion. Bit of tweaking to that energy light there, and you can see how you lose a little bit of the steps in this picture, but I don't think it's significant. Something's gone on with the third eye of the bear, but she's still lovely in both pictures. Just tweaking again, I suppose. And this is the owl that we loved so much, that was on the cover of the first book and the box. A little bit of the pendulum or moon has been lost, but I don't think it really matters. And again, just slight difference in colour tone and perhaps a bit of zooming in. And again there. Here we have tweaked the colour of the robes in Show That You Care. Here she's got an oyster robe and it's gone quite pink there, and he's got pinker tones on his little horns. Doesn't matter. Both are beautiful. Actually, I'm glad I've got both. Again, here you can really, it's almost like quite a different colour tone, but I think it's just how it comes out in the print. Funnily enough, the surrender to flow changed direction, but does it matter? I don't think so. And here's, I think that is our fourth extra card, a source of all, the source of all. And then we've got time to ground. And that's very much the same. There's hardly, there's a subtle difference in the colour here due to the cardstock. And again here. And wash away. It's amazing how this really changes the way the picture looks, and of course the borders coming away really enhances it. But because this is a little bit bigger, we lose a bit of the frog, but we can still see it's a frog on a lily pad, and there's the other one is still whole. Interestingly enough, there's very little difference here apart from the colour of the butterfly. You can see that's been brought out a bit more. And because the green stands a bit brighter, it looks more green in that picture. So I don't think it really matters. And this is our final extra card, with love and kindness. And she's got all the bright pink and green that is so prevalent in the deck now. And then finally, You Were Born to Create. Both of them equally nice in their own way. So, there you have it. As I said, I prefer the size of this in my hands. It's just a little bit easier to hold than the slightly bigger one, but they're both good decks. They're both lovely, and I wouldn't rush out to buy this deck unless you wanted the 5 cards, or unless you really felt that was a big improvement for you personally. And just a quick look at the extra 5 cards. I'll put them on the thumbnail perhaps, and then you can have a longer look at them, but there they are. 5 extra cards, a new back, a different size, and a different cardstock, but still the same wonderful, gorgeous, magical deck by Ravynne Phelan, the Messenger Oracle. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this comparison. And if so, please remember to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons, and then have yourself a good day, and God bless you until we meet again.